Alright, what's up guys? So this is going to be part 2 of my subframe reinforcement video, and in this video I'm going to be welding in all the plates. I'm going to be painting and seam sealing it all. I'm going to be welding and painting on the subframes themselves. Yeah, and I have already done all that now, and it went good. I learned a lot. I'm really excited to start driving the car. So yeah, they came out good. Looks pretty good. And I got these done. I got all the bushings in the subframe, and I got these plates fully welded, and I got these plates fully welded too. So yeah, so now my subframes won't break, and neither will the car. The car won't break either. So yeah, really excited. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so for these plates, I have actually decided to not weld them in. I think it's just gonna save me some time. It'll be less work. And these ones actually, that go back here in the trunk. There's companies that sell braces that connect like it's like a strut brace but for the back. And so if I have this in there, I'm worried that it won't fit right. So leaving this so I can unbolt it and take it in and out will probably be better, because then I won't have to like cut it out later if the trunk brace that I buy doesn't fit. So yeah, so I'm just not gonna weld them in. I'm just gonna leave them in, just bolted. So yeah, and then these ones are the same, just in the front, on the bottom, and then yeah, they'll just always sit on top of my coilover like that. Yeah, so cool. Yeah, and then but there's still a spot in the back in the trunk that I have to weld. You have to cut out a square right here. Just cut the square out. So I need to get this out of the way, and I found out that to do that, you have to come in here and you take this out. You take this plastic piece off the top right there. There's like a clip. You take that clip off. You take this off, and then this has clips along the top of it. There's 4 of them, and then that just pops out, and then you can take this stuff off. So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. So I'm here in the trunk, and I took these things out, and I don't know how to take them out without breaking them. So the bottom part, I got this one out and I didn't break. The first one I broke, it like flaps. So it didn't break all the way off, but you know, that's not great. So this one I got off good. So basically you just pull up and out, like you just kind of pry like this, and the bottom will pop off. And this one didn't break, that one did. And then this top part, this part that holds the top piece in, broke on both of mine. See, this one, it broke differently. So this one, you can see the piece is still there. I just kept pulling out, and it just snapped it. So it broke it right here around this box. It's this piece, this thing, like, it goes on like this, and then this thing, these holes pop into this piece, which is just here in the wall, just kind of like flops around. That's what holds it in the wall. So I just used a screwdriver and I pushed in this tab, and once I had already broken it off, I took that off. Yeah, so this one I tried just pulling straight out. I pulled just grabbed on the top and on the side right here, and I just pulled really hard straight. And what happened was the piece in the back, so this piece broke, and now the piece of plastic fell down somewhere in the car. And now, yeah, so that broke. So I honestly have no idea how you're supposed to take those out without breaking them. Just because now I could take a flathead and I could push this tab in, and then this piece will pop off. But now it's useless because that part's broken. So, and now that one's useless because that thing's broken. So I guess they're just gonna float here now. Hopefully that's okay. Hopefully they don't move around too much when somebody gets in the back. But yeah, I don't know how you're supposed to take that out, and I couldn't find a video of it. So yeah, definitely go and try to find a video on how to take those out without breaking them, because I don't know how you're supposed to do it. Because like, you would think you would try to pry with a flathead, but you can't. There's no, when this thing is there, you can't get to it. So yeah, so it's not great. All right, so I got the square cut out in the trunk. It was pretty easy. I already bent the plate, so I know that the plate's gonna fit over there pretty good. I bent it a little too far forward, so it's kind of high right here, but that's okay. I'll just weld it up. Yeah, cool. Okay. So I got this side done. I haven't done that side yet. But this was a nightmare. This sucked. But I got it cut out, that all the welds. In the video that I watched Condor's video. Yeah, and they basically ground the welds out. Like they kind of delete them and then you're re-welding over it. So you're putting in brand new ones. So that's kind of what I tried to do. I had a really hard time getting over here with the Dremel tool. It wasn't very good, so I just cut as much as I could. I just like cut multiple times and then like cut across this way, and then was using the pliers, and I pulled the pieces out. But yeah, so it should be good. So I'll just weld it up just around here, just basically like just do all the way around, and I'll probably go through around in the middle. Yeah, just to tie in and everything, because basically what you're doing, you're tying this piece, the frame plate, to this plate down here, which is the part of the subframe, the top part of it. So yeah, so cool. So yeah, you're just welding this plate together all the way around, and then I'll weld around in the middle to connect all of it. So yeah, should be good. So, I think I'm done cutting this piece out, yeah. Pry this out of there. There we go. Cool. Yeah, so, oh yeah, it's really dirty in here. You really gotta brush it to clean it. But, so when you're doing this, when you're cutting this piece out, definitely cut on the insides of the welds, because my welds are over here, and over across here. So cut on like the insides, because if you try to go through like this, like I did, I went straight through the weld. This spot right here, this little area right here, this little triangle, on all of them are still connected to the plate below, because it is welded to the plate below. So it makes it a nightmare to get that little piece out. So if you cut in front of the welds, you can get that little piece out easier. And then, yeah, it took me like almost all of these little circle pieces. They love to explode. They're horrible. So I definitely recommend the thicker ones. The kit that I bought comes with two different types. There's like thin ones that explode, and these thick ones, these ones don't really explode. So, but they take longer to cut because they're thicker. So, I don't know. Maybe start with the thin ones. That's what I did. I started with the thin ones, then went to the thicker ones. Yeah, I basically used almost all the thin ones right here on this one side. So you might have to buy like a second set. Maybe not like the whole big kit, but maybe they sell just the little circles. So yeah, you might have to buy another set of those. Yeah, so I got through there. So now I'm just gonna grind. I'm gonna use these, probably these bits again. I use like these things, just like all the different shaped ones, to kind of grind all as much more of that weld away as I can, and try to get rid of all the paint. So I have more of an area to stick to the plate below. Yeah, so now I gotta clean this up and grind all the paint off and grind the hole a little wider, and it should be good. You can also use this one, like you can take it, because this one's thick, you can actually run it back and forth like this and grind away stuff. So like I might take that and run it back and forth right here and grind that down, and that'll help speed it up, I think. So yeah, pretty cool. So much fun. Totally not a lot of work. Well, my welder thing tied a knot, so now I have to cut that and rerun the whole sleeve. So, yay! All right, hey, what's up, guys? So it's been 3 weeks now. and I'm finally back working on the car. We went on a bunch of trips and stuff. So, but yeah, so I grinded the weld down, so that's better now, and I cleaned it. So now I'm gonna weld it. Hopefully, finish welding it, and hopefully I can get that all done today, and then put the. Actually, I'm not gonna put the top plates back on because I have to seam seal it. So yeah, maybe I'll start doing the stuff on the bottom because all the paint has had more than enough time to dry. So yeah. All right, so I just got done welding this. Yeah, so I'm done welding it, and it's really bad. I wish that I would have just done these together because this one looks so good. This one's way better. I way over welded this one. I just like, I don't know what was happening. The weld, I'm guessing it wasn't clean enough. I don't know, but it wasn't welding very good. Like it was spattering a lot, and like it was sputtering, I guess is how I describe it. It wasn't just like continuously welding. So I don't know. So I had to go back over multiple times to like fix it and clean it up. So yeah, so that's way over welded. I think it's gonna be good. Like it's probably gonna hold better than that one. I would think. But I don't know. It doesn't look nearly as good. So oh well. Yeah, I'm just kind of wanting to get this done now because it's been so long. I just want to be able to drive my car. So yeah, so I got that done. So I'm gonna start doing the other stuff. So I was gonna start with the subframe. So I put the engine mount in so that I know that I'll be able to fit the socket on there. Yeah. Oh, I guess I was going. Yeah, so I'm gonna weld these on there. I'll stick the socket on there, and then I'll tack weld it on there to make sure it fits. Oh, actually, I need to hammer it first. I need to bend it to come down closer so I can fill this gap up. Yeah, so I'm gonna do these. Yeah, I figure I should probably, since that went not so great, I'm gonna make these better. I'm gonna learn again on these, because if I mess up the subframe, like it's okay, I can replace the subframe. I absolutely have to if I mess it up that bad. But the frame, you know, if I mess these up and like I just ruin them somehow, then I can't really fix that. So, oh yeah, so I'm gonna continue learning on these, and then when I'm ready to do when I'm done with these, I'll do the frame. So. Yeah, cool. Okay, so these were really easy to bend. I just used the heat gun and sat there and heated them up. And then I just took this little tiny mallet and I held one side with the pliers and I just hammered it there in the middle. And they bent up good. So those are gonna be great. They're gonna weld up great. There won't be any super big gaps to fill now. So yeah, awesome. That was pretty cool. Alright guys, so I got these all welded up. It was actually pretty easy. This was the first one I did. It doesn't look as good as the other one. But it was pretty simple. I think the thing that helped me the most was setting it up and like supporting it with something. So that I'm welding flat. Because if you weld it like this, you're gonna be welding sideways. Like you're gonna be welding straight into it and the weld's gonna want to drop down. So supporting it in a way that makes it so it's a flat weld, and then stopping right there because now you're on a downhill weld, so you pick that side up, and so it's like angled. I just set it up against this box. Now it makes that spot a flat weld. So yeah, so that's just all it took. I just had to keep doing that, just moving it around, and yeah, it worked pretty good. I put the this thing in there, my engine mount. I stuck it in there and then put the nut on it, and I just had the socket sitting there like that, just so that to make sure that it was gonna fit again to make sure the nut was gonna go on. So yeah, that's what I did. And then I tacked it and then took the socket out and fully welded it. Yeah, but this was my second one. It came out really good. It looks great. So yeah, awesome. Really happy about that. So now I gotta do that one. Alright guys, so I finished welding on these. I didn't record any of it. I figure you've seen enough welding at this point. These ones are pretty simple. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just weld all the gaps. They just place in there. They're specific. One goes on one side. It has like a little piece that points down there, and then this one has the piece that points down there. Yeah, and then you just weld all the little gaps. I welded around the top and down in the cracks in there, and yeah. Yeah, and I just bolted, I bolted that thing up in there and made sure it fit, and I tightened it pretty tight so that it like crushed the piece in there. It like kind of squeezed it in there. I had to, actually on this one I had to cut the bottom corner off. I probably should have done it on that one too, but that little piece that sticks down, it was pushing on the subframe and stopping it from going all the way. So I just cut it off with the angle grinder, and then it fit in there. So yeah. So yeah, it's pretty simple. You just weld up you just connect everything. Yeah, it doesn't look too great, but I mean, it should be fine. I think it's way more like the weld. There's so many spots to weld. I think there's no way like anything's gonna happen. So, yeah. So those were pretty simple, and yeah, those are good. So now I believe all I have left to do is to weld up the frame. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. Probably. I'll probably start on that tomorrow. It's getting late, so cool. Why am I? It's so short. It's a short shifter. Hey, don't click that. Why is my shifter pressing buttons? Alright guys, so I got the plates up in here. I just bolted them in. I just used the lug nuts actually, or the lug bolts to hold the plates in. And yeah, so I've got them all placed in there. And yeah, so I guess I can start welding. I seen this one has a little gap here, so I wanted to try to fix the gap there by bending it over. So I heated it up with the heat gun, and I was hitting it with the hammer, and it didn't really bend very much. And I think that this plate just isn't sized right. Like this just needs to be a little over. Needs to be a little longer right there, and then it would fit properly. But so oh well. So I guess I'll just fill that. I'll probably push on it and then get it closer, and then tack weld it in while I'm holding it up to the wall, so I have less of a gap to fill, because filling gaps sucks. So yeah, but they're all in. So I guess I'll start. I'm actually gonna go watch a video on how, like, somebody else welding these and see what happens to them, and because I want to make sure these get welded in right as best that I can do it. So yeah. So actually I forgot that so before I weld these, I forgot that this one actually has a crack here. It's hard to see. It's right there. Yeah, it starts right here, and it comes up to right here. It ends right there. So I'm gonna go grab a small drill bit and drill the ends, and then I'll use just the cutoff disc, and I'll just gouge a little thing through it all the way down it until I make sure I can see that I've got it all. And then I'll weld it up, and I'll grind it smooth, and then I'll probably have to paint it again, I guess. I'm gonna have to paint it back over with Steelit. I don't know. I guess we'll see how much paint I have to grind off and get rid of, and then we'll see. So cool. Okay, so I grinded it all back down. I used a thick boy to get most of it off, and then I switched to just a flat wheel with a rounded edge. And this is what it looks like. So now the crack is more visible, like the gouge that I made. You can see like the outline of it. So I don't know. And there, I didn't want to keep grinding. It looks like I need to keep grinding there, but it looks pretty smooth to me, so I didn't want to keep going. So I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't tell you if this is better or worse. I mean, I got rid of that crack, so so hopefully it's better. I don't know. I guess I'll find out later. But yeah, so I did that one. I'm gonna fix this over here. There's these spots that I opened up. There's one there and one up there. So I'm gonna weld those up and do the same thing. All right, so I finished those up. They seemed pretty good. This one was the first one. I did this one. This one went better. I realized that if you go faster, like it lays it flat. It lays the bead flatter, so you don't have to grind as much. So yeah, it seems pretty good. So I mean, that won't separate now. So I guess that was what I would be worried about. I don't really know. I guess maybe, yeah, I don't know, because it's all connected up, because this is all one piece up all the way to over here. So I mean, I don't know, maybe you really don't have to worry about this, but oh well. So I got that welded. So now I can, I guess I'm gonna paint the, well, this one I don't need to, I need to seam seal this, and then I need to use the seam sealer and then primer over it. So yeah, I won't do that right now, but that, I'm not, yeah, I think I'm gonna paint that with the primer again. Oh, I was gonna mention, I noticed that with the SELECTOR, it like, you can kind of see it right here. Whenever I start welding on it, it immediately bubbles and flakes off. It just falls off the paint or the panel. So like on these as well, when I was doing these, let's see if I can find a spot. Yeah, right here. You can see the backside is, the paint is flaking off. So it's not even coated anymore. So does that mean that like when I weld this, is all this area underneath that I don't weld, is it just gonna break off and flake off and not be there anymore? And then it'll just rust in there? I don't know. So I'm not sure. That SELECTOR stuff, maybe I sprayed it wrong. Maybe I didn't do enough. Like maybe I didn't spray the coats thick enough. I'm not sure. I definitely waited the correct amount of time, but maybe you just have to buy 3 cans of that or something, or 4 cans, and just use the whole can on just the bottom of the car, and use like another whole can on just the plates or something, like just to get them all coated. So yeah, maybe that's what it needed. It just needed to be thicker. I'm not sure. So yeah, oh well. Well, hopefully it doesn't rust out later. All right, well, we're off to a bad start already. It immediately blew a hole through it, so I had it set too high. Yeah, so now I'm gonna have to fix that. And then a thing burned a hole through my sock, one of the BBs that fell. So I'm gonna go put boots on so I don't burn my feet again. But yeah, so already off to a great start welding these plates. All right, so I turned the welder down. So we're gonna try this. Hopefully this time it doesn't blow a hole through it. I'm also gonna aim at the plate more. I think that I pointed too much over into the into like the body of the car, and that allowed it to. That's why it blew. Maybe that's why it blew a hole through. Also, this stuff is like unbelievably thin. It's no wonder it cracks. Like it's insane how thin, how easy that blew through. So yeah, no wonder we have to fix the frickin' reinforce the subframe. I turned it down again. I think that it was still too hot to like be able to run a continuous bead. So I turned it down one more. We're gonna see what that does. We're gonna try to run a bead here. And for this first one, I'm gonna try pushing it. I'm gonna try pushing it this way. I'll probably divide this in 2, and then I'll push it, and then I'll pull it, and I'll see which one I like better. I remember reading that pushing is like the best way. So you should pretty much only be pushing with MIG. But I'm gonna see what they both feel like and how they weld right here. Also, these are doing the thing where they grow like a little nipple when I get done welding. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe there's some stuff in there. There's some junk in there that I'm welding through. I'm not sure. as you can see, it lit on fire, and I blew another hole through. So I guess I'm gonna turn it down again. Or maybe I just need to go faster. I don't know. I'm gonna turn it down again and try to do another one. Nope. Well, now I gotta fill that hole in. That sucks. But pushing it felt great, so that seemed good. Oh God. Yeah, as you can see right here, all the paint is just rubbing away. You can see it's gone all the way up there now. So I must have not sprayed that thick enough. That's the only thing I can think of, is that the steel is not on there enough. There's not enough of it. So I guess you're gonna have to buy multiple cans to do it, is what I would do, which sucks because it's so expensive. Or maybe you can find a better brand. Maybe buy a different brand of spray, weldable primer. Yeah, so I pulled just a little piece, like right there, like a quarter, half an inch maybe, and I don't really like it. I don't like how it does it, so I'm gonna try pushing it with these settings and see. Maybe I might have turned it down too much now. So I don't know. Let me try pushing it and see what it does. Cool. Yeah, pushing it is definitely the better way. Yeah, those seem good. I don't really like how thin it is, or the weld is really tall, and I feel like it's not penetrating very much. So I'm gonna turn it back up and try it again, and I'll just try to go faster. So I'll turn it up higher and run a faster speed and see what happens. So that actually went really good. I just did it slower, so I did it in like bursts. And that seemed to weld really good. I'm gonna brush it off, and I'm gonna do another weld above it to help it tie into the upper area. That spot had like a gap behind it, so I was just shooting above the plate, like filling in the gap down to the plate. So yeah, so I'm gonna brush it off and do that again. I'll let it cool down too. All right, so I got this plate fully I gotta do the plug weld. I forgot about that one. But I got the outside fully welded, and it's pretty good. It really isn't. It honestly is it's a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. I was really worried about it, but it's not that bad. Yeah, they're not like perfect or anything. They're not like super great welds, but I think they'll do just fine. And I'm learning a lot. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat learning all this stuff, how to do all this. So, yeah. So I guess I'll do that plug weld, and then I'll be done with it. But then I forgot. Oh yeah, I started painting this. So I've been painting it with also this is where I'm getting my ground from for the welding. I just thread the rod in. Yeah, I started painting this, and this paint, I don't know, it's not laying down super smooth. Maybe I didn't sand it enough or whatever, but it doesn't really matter. It shouldn't matter, so. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna wait the full 7 days for that to dry. I'll probably not do it today. Like, I'll probably weld all these other ones in, and then wait maybe a couple of days. I don't know. I guess we'll see when I get done with the rest of it. We'll see what I'm feeling. But yeah, and yeah, going pretty good. All right, so a little update while I'm doing this one. I decided to just do stitch welds here, just to save some time, and there's more than enough welds here. Like, this is probably too much. I could have done a stitch weld here on the back and maybe on the front. But yeah, so I'm just doing the stitch welds just to speed it up a little bit. And then I was welding sitting down, and when you're welding sitting down, your legs are out like this, and you got like a flat surface here. So when the BBs fall, and this drops big ones because you're getting it hot, they fall and they burn through my pants, and they got my nuts hot. That didn't feel good. So yeah, so don't do it sitting down. So I raised up the lift, and I'm gonna do it standing up now, so that they'll just fall straight down to the ground. So definitely recommend doing it standing up if you can. And if you're laying on the ground, doing it on jack stands, you're gonna probably want, like, because I have this big jacket. Where's my jacket go? I threw it on the ground in a panic when that happened. Yeah, so I have this big jacket that covers like my arms and my chest, and then it has these parts that connect and cover down your stomach and kind of onto your lap. So I definitely recommend one of these. Yeah, these just connect right there. So yeah, so definitely get that if you're gonna do it laying down on the ground under jack stands, just to make sure you're not getting burnt. Because it sucks, and now like now I had to spend a bunch of time like stopping, and because I was in pain. So yeah, definitely recommend doing it standing up or getting better protection. So cool. Yeah, I'm gonna keep welding it out. I got these 2 plug welds, and I'll probably go do one of them. I'll probably go do this one and these ones, and then I'll probably do these last because these ones look scary. There's just like a lot of welding for those ones. And then yeah, it's going pretty good. This is it's actually pretty fun. I'm learning a lot. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay guys, so I finished all of the welding. I finished welding all the plates on. It took a while, but it was pretty good. I don't know. I think it went pretty good. I learned a lot as I went. Yeah. Not all the welds are perfect, but I think they'll be more than enough to hold everything in and get the job done. This one, I didn't wait the full 6 days or 7 days or whatever for the paint to dry, but it welded the same as the other plates. All the paint still chipped off, so oh well. So I guess that's just how it's gonna be. Yeah, so it came out pretty good, I think. I'm excited. So now I have to grind them all flat so that I can fit the subframe on. And so I started with this one, and oh my god, it's a lot of work. I have the big thick disc, the solid DeWalt disc. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's hard. I don't got big muscles, so this sucks for me to hold the angle grinder up. I lowered the lift all the way down, and so I was laying down on the roller and just laying on my back and pushing up with the grinder, and that seemed to be a little better. So yeah, so I'll be doing that for a while. I was thinking I might take the subframe and actually put it on the jack and push it up here to see how much I actually have to grind. Because if I don't need to grind like these edges, then I don't want to have to. It took me a while just to grind that little bit down, just like that one. It took a while. So keep that in mind when you're welding it. If you guys are welding these yourselves, you're gonna every little bit of weld you put on there, you're gonna have to grind away, and it's a lot of work to grind it. So yeah, so I will be grinding that. That one's gonna suck. I don't know how I'm gonna get in there. I really should have. I don't know. I even tried to be like little with it. I messed up like here probably. That part's too thick, but like I tried to be small with it so it wasn't super tall welds that I'd have to spend a bunch of time grinding, but they still came out tall. So yeah, so that'll be interesting. It'll be rough, but yeah, I gotta get it done. So cool. Yeah, so I'll grind it all. And then I think after I grind it all, I think I need to like brush away all this bad paint that's there, and then I can do the seam sealer. And then I'll do the seam sealer up in the trunk, up on top of these ones. And actually I found out you can look through this hole, you can actually see up into the trunk. Somewhere. Right there you can see up past the plate and up into the trunk. So yeah. Yeah, so cool. It's going good. Alright guys, so I got this one ground all the way down, and I used the hard disk to get rid of most of it, and then I grabbed the flapper disc, this one, and got it all smooth, and it came out good. And so what I did was I took the top half of the bushing, and I just kept putting it up there and checking it, but yeah, so now if I tighten this up on there, we can see that it is all good. So yeah, so you don't have to grind away all that other part of the other welds. You don't need to waste your time grinding it. So as long as this is all flat over here, wherever the bushing is touching, it should be good. So yeah, so I'm just gonna go around and do that on all the welds. I might round off that corner there, actually, with the flap wheel. I might make this part a little round, so that it doesn't cut into this. I don't think it will cut into it, but you know, maybe like when you're hitting bumps and stuff, this will deform up. Maybe it'll push up and push on that angle there. So I'll just make it round. That won't take very long. So cool, yeah, so I just gotta do that to the rest of them. Okay, so I got some more grinding done. I got these 4 plates, those 4 spots done. So I still need to do the other spots. But this one actually, you only have to grind, I only need to grind this spot and this spot. And then on this one, it's the same thing. It's just this one. Actually, it's this one, this one, this one. Oh, maybe a little bit over here. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm almost done. But I realized that I didn't really ever think about it, but my mask doesn't have the filters. It didn't come with filters, so I've just been using the mask, and it's not been doing anything. And so, it's definitely been helping. It's definitely stopped stuff, but I was wondering how stuff was getting in here. Because if you look in there, you can see metal flakes in there. So I was always wondering about that. But so yeah, so I'm gonna wait on that because I ordered filters. So I'm gonna start changing bushings out. I'm gonna start with the subframe. And actually, I was just looking at this. I noticed this one is like elongated. If you look at that hole, it's straight. This one's like ovaled. So that was definitely bad. That was like sliding and grinding. It must have like either that came bad and it was just somebody replaced it or something. It came ovaled, or my bolt like ovaled it somehow by rubbing up and down, I guess, or something. I don't know. So yeah, so I'm gonna start by replacing those, and I have a toolkit somewhere. Oh, it's over there to replace the bushing. So I'm gonna start doing that. All right, so I tried to use these, and they're not big enough. This is the kit that Garagistic recommends on their website, and then this kit just comes with a bunch of sizes. And I bought it for my girlfriend's Subaru, so I could take the bushings out of that. But none of them are big enough to fit around this, or I guess not. It's not on this side. On the other side, it has like a lip here, and you have to get over that, and none of them are big enough. So what I seen multiple videos on was people using the torch, and then they just hammer it out. So I used the heat gun and the torch, and I just heated up all around it until I seen the bushing start bubbling up on the corner, like on the edge here, and then I just hit it with a hammer a bunch of times, and it came out. It was really, really easy. So yeah, because dealing with these things is kind of stressful because they're expensive, and it's really easy to strip the threads on those bolts. Like you can see on this one, I stripped it already. So yeah, so doing this with the hammer is really easy and great. So yeah, so I'm just gonna do the rest of them just like that. Okay, well, on that one, I got it too hot, I guess, and when I hit it with the hammer, it like exploded all up onto my hand. So, I guess don't get it that hot. I don't know. It was on fire, basically. It was actually sitting on fire. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess don't get it that hot, but it came out really easy. It came out easier than the other ones. So, the hotter you get, the easier it comes out. So, maybe use a punch or something and then hit it. That probably would have saved my hand. But yeah, so, okay, I'm gonna go wash my hands now. Alright, so I got most of the black stuff off my hands, and it's on my thumb and on my palm. But, yeah. So that sucked. So definitely don't do that. I used the Fast Orange, hand cleaner stuff. It's like sandpaper. The sandpaper soap. So, yeah. So now we're gonna take these ones out. Oh, that one's bad. That one's got a crack straight through it. Yeah. So, okay, cool. So I'm just gonna heat around these, and hopefully these will go out that way. I'm gonna try to punch them out that way. We'll see what happens. Alright, so I tried to hammer this last one out, and it started deforming the edge, and I was worried that if I kept hammering it, I was going to make it impossible to get out, so I didn't want to keep trying. So I tried using these tools, and this one actually, I used it last time and broke it immediately the first try. This nut is stripped here. So so I bought this other kit, thinking that I could I could probably use that stud and that nut on this thing, but I can't. This is a different thread than that. So this kit is almost useless now. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll try to use this, and I'll use this one, but this rod is way too long, and it was hitting over here, so it wasn't straight. So I think if I get this, if I get one of these just shorter, I'm just gonna go buy like a bolt or something. I might be able to get the one cup on this side and then put this thing on the other side, and then just put a nut on this side, and then it should just press the thing through like that. So, because this cup, this one fits over it perfectly. That like just fits over perfect, so it would push the bushing into the cup here. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to go and get another bolt. Also, this bushing is elongated as well, I noticed. So maybe that's normal. Maybe they come elongated for some reason. I can't imagine why you would want that, because then the bolt would slide back and forth. I don't know. Things whack. So, okay. So I'll come back when I figure this out. Okay. So I've got this all set up. I've got one piece from one kit with just a nut and a washer. I went and bought this all thread. It was 10 inches long. They just had it at the bolt store. So yeah, and I got 2 nuts and 2 washers for it. But yeah, so I just have this one on the flat side with just the nut and the washer. I hope this works, because this side has the bearing. So like you can see I'm spinning this side, but this side's staying solid. So I don't know how that's gonna work with this side. I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm not sure. So we're gonna find out if it strips it out here or not. But I put grease on the threads, on the all thread, so I put it under here too. So yeah, so this is pressing up against the housing, the outside, and then this is the same, it looks like it's the same size as the inside metal piece. So it might, I hope it's not bigger. It might be bigger. It kind of looks like it right there. Yeah, so I'm going to tighten this now, and it should pull the bushing through into this thing. So we'll see. Oh, I also have to heat it up. You gotta heat it up at the same time, and that makes it go a lot easier. All right, cool. So I got it out. So yeah, I tightened it up, and it started getting really tight. And I didn't feel comfortable like wrenching on it more, because I'm worried because when I ruined that one, it was just extremely tight, and I just kept going, and then it stripped the nut and the end of the thread. So I was scared that was gonna happen. So I just started heating it up more. I grabbed both of the torches and I was just blasting it, and I got it really hot, and then I started tightening it, and it was pulling it through. This kit, this one, they all have little windows here, so you can see the bushing on the inside. You can see if it's moving, and so I was just tightening it, and I could see that it was moving, so I knew it was working, so it was good. With this one, so I don't have this. Normally, you have another one of those nuts with a bearing, but on this side, I don't have that. And what happened was this side just like got locked solid, like it was just locked on there. And then this one was the one that was spinning, and it wasn't stripped. I don't think it stripped it or anything. I'll see when I pull it out, but I'm pretty sure it worked fine. So, oh yeah, I would see here. Yeah, so I didn't strip it. It worked out great. So yeah, you just gotta buy. I think that kit was $60, and that one was like $100 something. So you just gotta buy like $200 worth of bushing kits, and then you might have enough to get whatever job you're doing done. And actually, this one, it wasn't even gonna work. Some of these in this kit have threads in them. Yeah, so like that one, you see how it's threaded? That fits on that rod, but it doesn't fit on these rods. So what I did was this one fit perfectly for the bushing, so I just drilled out the threaded part. I just kept going up in drill bit sizes until all the thread was gone and this one fit through. And then I just put the nut on it, and it worked great. So yeah, so now that one won't work for that one, but that one's already ruined. So what does it matter if I run the other ones? So awesome. So cool. Yeah, now I can clean that one up. I cleaned off camera. I cleaned up all these, and I went through and I used this thing. This thing worked great. It's just like on a drill, just like a little metal wire brush, and it cleaned up all the insides really good. So I'm gonna clean that one up, and then I can put all the bushings in. Sick. I'm excited. This is a lot of fun. All right, so I got the black spray paint on. It went pretty well. It's really rough, but I'm not too worried about it. It's under the car, so cool. I'm gonna start by putting the bushings in. I've got all the bushings right there. And then I'm gonna go, afterwards I'll go and finish grinding all the plates underneath. So I'm almost done with those. I've only got a couple more. So cool. Alright guys, so I got all of the bushings in. It looks cool. It looks good. It took a while. It took a while because I was using I was putting Teflon tape on. I'll put a link to the video that I watched in the description. But basically the guy said that he uses Teflon tape in between the bushings and between the pins there, and it makes it so it never squeaks or starts creaking. I think that, yeah, they make like a squeaky creaking noise. So, and I mean, I guess these ones probably wouldn't, now thinking about it now, because these ones don't spin or move or anything. So maybe I didn't need to do that here, but I don't know. I wanted to do it to make sure that it would never squeak, so I could have them on there forever. So yeah. I'll put a link to that in the description so you can watch it. And yeah, cool. So the next thing, I still have to finish grinding all these. I finished this one last night. These are hard to get to. This spot is really hard to get to. I had to use my Dremel and it takes so long. Grinding these plates sucks. But it's getting there. So yeah, I just was taking this thing and let me turn this light on. I'm just holding it up in there. And I took bolts and I bolted it in. And depending on where it's like slid, like sometimes there's a gap and sometimes there isn't. I don't know really what's going on. I seen that like little pin thing right there. I don't know if that's what's causing it, but yeah. So I have the other one of that, and then I still have these two. But this one, I only have these 3 welds, so that'll go fast. This one will take a little longer. I got all this that I think I have to weld, so or grind. So cool. Yeah. I'll just keep on keeping on. Alright, so it's the next day. This is all dry now, and I'm gonna put this stuff on. And it says to use, it says to sand it with a scuff pad or P320 to P500 abrasive sandpaper, I'm guessing. So I'm gonna use some, I have 400 grit sandpaper, so I'm just gonna rough up all the edges wherever I'm gonna put the sealer, and then yeah, so I'll just roughly do all that real quick and then put it all on. All right, I got the seam sealer. I cleaned this up. I'm just gonna goop some on there. Let's see how this goes. Neat. Cool. And now I'm gonna spray it on my finger. That might have been too much, but oh well, I guess more is better, right? Hopefully. Let's goop this all over the place. Try to make it smooth. Cool. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh yeah, you can see down into the trunk there. Yeah, so water can get up here. I guess you'd have to be pretty unlucky, but like I guess it's possible that water can get up in here. But yeah, so well, that seems pretty good. Well, cool. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do that to the rest of them. I only cleaned these ones in the trunk. I was gonna try it on these ones first. Yeah, so I'll do that one and then go to the bottom and I'll clean the rest of them, and yeah, see. All right, so these have been sitting for a little while, and they're looking pretty dry. So I'm gonna paint them with the undercoating now. So I'll do these ones first, and then go down and do the bottom ones. Cool. Yeah, we're painting this stuff. Whatever this is. Cool. Cool. So I finally finished doing all this. I painted it with the undercoating paint, and it came out good. It's all hard and seems like it's gonna be good. So yeah, awesome. I'm super excited. It looks good. It shouldn't rust for a long time. Hopefully that's all sealed up. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to put the stuff around the edge, because like this was where the weld was, so I wrapped it around onto the plate. I don't know if I was supposed to do that, but I felt like it would help seal it better, to stop water from getting in. So the bushing's gonna sit and rub on this thing, on the stuff here. So I tried to keep it thin so it wouldn't really do it or affect anything. So hopefully that doesn't cause any problems. I don't think it will. Can't imagine anything that it would do besides make maybe the bushing sit a little unlevel, but it's so flat anyways, it shouldn't matter. So awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. This was fun. It's pretty good. So I'm happy to be done with it. The grinding really sucked. Yeah, grinding all these plates was not fun. So cool. So oh, actually, I forgot. I missed this part and this on this part. I didn't seam seal those parts. So I'd already painted it with the final undercoating. So I just put it says you can put it on top of paint. So I just put the more seam sealer over it, and then I'll just paint it again when this dries here in 30 minutes is what it says. So cool. So yeah, so that's all I have left to do for this, and then I'm done. So I'm probably gonna do the next thing I'm probably gonna do. Oh, I have to finish the trunk, the plates in the trunk to cover up those holes above these. Yeah, I gotta weld those back in, because now the welds are all coated and whatever, so now I have to put the plate back in to cover the hole back up. So that's probably what I'll be doing next. Then I can go and work on this stuff. So yeah, but I got the subframe bushings all in, and then the next thing would be, oh, I need to weld the diff. That's probably the next thing I'm gonna do. Either put the bushings in those, in that, and in those, or weld the diff. So one of those will be the next thing. All right, so I got this painted with the primer. I went and bought, or no, it's this Racing primer that I used on the subframe. It's that stuff. So yeah, that looks, whatever. And then I bought this one. I bought this, so it's another stop rust protective enamel one, and it's smoke gray gloss. So the cap is definitely darker than the silver, but oh well, it'll be just to protect it. Then it won't rust. Actually, what do you call it? The seam sealer, it said to not put it on bare metal, and I forgot about that. When I did the trunk, when I did the bottom, I painted it first with the primer, then I put the seam sealer on. But this one I forgot, and I put it on bare metal, and then I painted over it. So hopefully that's okay. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen. We're sure gonna find out. It's only on this piece, which is basically cosmetic, I think. So yeah. So I guess if it rusts, it's not the end of the world, and I can cut it out and fix it again. But so hopefully it doesn't rust. I don't think it will, but I guess we'll find out. So yeah, so cool. So I'm gonna paint it with this, and then I'll show the end, and I'm probably gonna, yeah, so cool. All right, guys, I got it painted. It looks pretty good. It doesn't match perfectly, but I don't know. It's fine. It'll be good. This one I sprayed down way too far. There was just like a little bit that I grinded here on accident, and so I had to clean it up, and I went way too far. So, oh well, it's okay. It'll all get repainted eventually, and it'll look good again. But for now, it'll work. It'll get me to drive the car, or it'll allow me to drive the car. So yeah, I'm excited. And actually, oh, I gotta go like this. Actually, I'm thinking I'm gonna end the video right here. The car is like, I did the whole subframe and everything. So I did all the reinforcement plates. I did the bushings in the subframe. I have a lot of clips, so it's gonna be a pretty long video, I think. So I think I'm just gonna end the video here. So yeah.